Welcome to A Word After School, the podcast giving people the chance to say what they wish they always could have to one of their old high school teachers. Me, I'm Matthew, and I'm a writer who spent the past few years working in podcast production and TV development. But before that, I had a 15-year career as a high school English teacher. And in every episode of A Word After School, I'm interviewing one of the thousands of pupils I taught across my career, asking them what they loved, what they hated, and what they wished they could have changed about high school, as well as finding out whether knowing the difference between a simile and a metaphor has been of any use to them whatsoever. With today's guest, we reflect on vague memories of Edwin Morgan, disasters in the art class, and Egyptian themed classrooms. Let's find out who I'm talking to. Rachel, welcome to A Word After School. How are you doing today?
I am great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well. All the better for seeing you here. It's so nice to talk to you again. It has literally been years since we spoke, although I've kind of kept up with you on Instagram, so I know a few wee things about what you're up to, but it's really, really nice to talk to you.
Yeah,
Right now, how far away are you from the school that I taught you in? Are you in the same town? Are you in some far off land? Are you somewhere in between?
I am not that far. I'm in Edinburgh, so not too far, an hour or so.
Okay, okay. And how long have you been living in Edinburgh? I think you might have been there for a wee while now.
Yeah, I've worked in Edinburgh for 2.5 years, but I have lived in Edinburgh for a year and a week,
Okay.
to be
A
very
year and a
specific.
week. There we go. A nice kind of anniversary of sorts.
Exactly.
I didn't teach you in Edinburgh. You didn't live there. I did live in Edinburgh myself for a while and taught there when I was a teacher. Um, Years before I taught you, and I'm not supposed to say this as a person who spent a lot of their adult life in Glasgow, but I loved Edinburgh. And um, I only have nice things to say about it. So, how are you
Yeah,
enjoying Edinburgh?
I am enjoying it very much. My heart lies in Glasgow, but Edinburgh's great.
Okay, okay, good to hear. How many years ago then? Trying to figure this out for everybody that I speak to.
Mhm.
How many years is it since you left school?
It is 7 years since I
7 years. Oh man. Okay. Too many. My brain is not understanding these numbers.
Yeah,
And what I know this, but for the sake of the podcast, what age were you? What year in school were you in when I was your teacher?
I think he taught me in third year of high school onwards until um, I dropped advanced English. So, so for 3.5 years, 3 and a bit years.
There we go. Three and a bit. Yeah, it was I guess a slightly unusual case of me teaching you for like third year, fourth year, fifth year. That sometimes happens, but usually people move around between third and fourth year, maybe, or moving on to higher. But I remember your class very, very well. Your class was literally the first class I taught at the school that I taught you in. So it was a new job that I'd moved to. Um, and the first class on my timetable for whatever day we began, it was your
Well,
class. I remember it really well. I remember how quiet you all were. You were so lo such a lovely class, and I luckily got to keep you on until fifth year. I just remember you all being so quiet, and I didn't know if it was me or if it was the school or if it was just that you were a nice, clever class.
yeah, it
Uh,
was an unusual bunch of people to be in a class together. Nobody really knew each other so well.
okay, maybe it was a bit of that, just everybody getting to know each other. So I guess I was included in that. We were all getting to know each other, teachers and pupil. Um,
Exactly.
what about after school then? Immediately after school, what did you go on to do? What led you to where you are now and what you're doing right now?
Well, I immediately went into art school. I did interior design at Glasgow School of Art, and I did the full course, made it all the way through. So that's 4 years in Scotland, and then alongside that, had my little part-time job, worked in B&Q with my beautiful orange apron, um, and then after that, I kind of knew that I wanted to go into film and TV, but I didn't really know how. And I ended up, well, I went interrailing for uh, 3 weeks in
Yeah.
between art school and everything else. And then I sort of found myself working in exhibition design. So I did that for 2.5 years. And then um, I won't say too much, but a lot of people at my company were made redundant, including
Okay.
myself. So I then sort of thought this is the right time to go into film, go for it, go for the thing that I want to do. And I have now, just this week, been accepted into a traineeship to work in TV. So yeah,
It's
I
very
mean, that's like full life story, all the details.
that no, that's good. And we were talking before we were recording about what you're about to start doing next week. So it sounds really exciting, really, really fantastic opportunity. So well done to you. I can't wait to watch on a particular streaming service the show that you end up working on. So that's really, really cool. I guess we've got something in common. We both move towards film and
Yeah.
TV, which is what I spend most of my time doing now. So we've established where you are and how long ago it was we were at school together. Let's dive a little bit deeper now. We're going to get into some nitty-gritty and reflect on your time at school. First of all, of course, I was your English teacher. We mentioned I taught you for 3 years, 3 and a bit years in English.
Yep.
What you can be as honest as you like. What do you feel about English in high school looking back now? People are very divided. It's very sadly for me, I hear so many people say, "Oh, I hated English at school." What were your thoughts? How did you enjoy English?
Well, you'll be pleased to know I enjoyed English very much. It was one of my favorite classes to be in. I think like being a sort of relatively creative subject. I've always been into the more creative subjects,
Hmm.
and I felt like in English at school, especially, we having you as a teacher for 3 and a bit years, it was a nice class to be in, and I would say it was overall very positive time. Um, so yeah, yeah, I loved English. I know that other people didn't like it so much.
I'm glad to hear that. That's very comforting. And obviously, I know that you're a creative person now, and I knew back then you were a creative thinker, and I could tell that it felt to me like a subject that suited you well, and you wrote really, really well, and you were very articulate. So it's nice to know that those things marry up. Um, I actually have something physically here. I'm surprising you with. And if this is just an audio podcast, right? But maybe I'll use a wee clip somewhere for social media. I have kept loads and loads of things from my years in teaching, including lots of really, really lovely thank you cards and end of year cards. I have a couple of cards here from you, Rachel, that I still have. Of course, one of them has cats on it.
Wow.
And you wrote me, I'm not going to embarrass you by reading them out, by the way. You wrote a lovely thank you card. There must have been something in the air or a really good deal on these cards because I actually have three of the same exact cards that I was looking at these last night and I thought, oh, everybody bought the exact same card. That's
No
weird.
way. That's so funny.
But in them, you mention actually that you liked writing and you were an imaginative person. I'm putting you on the spot here. Do you do any writing? Did you ever do any writing? Any sort of creative writing?
I don't want to be a disappointment here. I've not I've not done so much creative writing. I do tend to, you know, do creative things in other ways, but I do enjoy writing, and I did write. Um, I mean, I had to write for uni. I had to write for art school, but I did enjoy
Yeah.
it. So in a way, yes, but not properly. I do write a
I,
diary, so
there
maybe
we
that.
go. You're expressing yourself in your diary, and you're still a storyteller. You're a visual storyteller
Oh,
through all of
exactly.
the wonderful artwork that you're involved in. Outside of English, What other subjects were, let's do favorites and least favorites. What else did you like? Were there any subjects in school that you absolutely hated?
If we're going by subject alone and not the outside factors of who was the teacher or what the class was like, art and design was very much, uh, yeah, a good subject for me. I didn't like being in the class, but I did like what I was doing. Um, and I mean, I think I generally quite enjoyed the actual subjects at school. I did
Yeah.
physics and chemistry as well, and I did enjoy those. And for a very brief period of time, wondered whether I should do chemistry at uni, which is like a very alternate life path. Thinking about that now, I could never have done it. But anyway, yes. Those were like highlights. I don't think I did any subjects I didn't like.
Yeah.
Um, well, I did do advanced chemistry for a bit, and then didn't last very long in that.
I'm sensing a pattern here of starting advanced higher subjects and then realizing this is not worth my time. I'm just going to
Yeah.
step back a little bit, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. Um, what about beyond the subjects then? Were there clubs that you were involved in or events or were you in any like sports teams or anything like that? What did you do in school outside of the timetable?
What did I do? I played the cello for a very
Oh,
short
wow.
time.
Okay.
But then it got all, exams and like there was no fun involved at all. And then I left that. I did do the school choir for a while, which was quite fun. And I did do the school show 1 year, um, which is crazy to me because I'm not a kind of stage persona.
What was the show? I remember a couple that we did.
It was, I think it was possibly like the music teacher's mashup of all sorts of different things in one.
Okay.
It was a
Okay.
very chaotic energy, very chaotic.
Love a chaotic energy in a school show. Why be dull when you can be chaotic? Okay,
Exactly.
that sounds good. I'm assuming you went on some school trips, but I am gonna ask you to hold on to that thought because I will be asking you a little bit about that later. You mentioned there, Rachel, you sort of made a wee joke about maybe enjoying a subject not being the same thing as enjoying being in a classroom with a teacher. Do you look back with fond memories of school? Do you have, uh, that's a really big question to ask, but was it a positive time? Was it a difficult time? Did you enjoy it? Were there things that you wished you could have changed or that you just didn't have to do?
Yeah, I think it's a complex question.
Yeah.
There's not like one. I don't think I enjoyed school, but I don't think I didn't enjoy it.
Mm,
Um, I think I felt very much in high school, very much on the outskirts, and very like I felt. This is getting quite deep now, but I felt like insignificant for a lot of that, and I
hmm
think it was partly, general teenage angst, partly just like moving school, partly being a queer person, uh, in a very straight setting.
hmm
And then also, yeah, being like a person that's interested in creative things, where schools are not so supportive of that,
Right.
or at least my school wasn't so supportive of that, I don't think. Um,
Yeah.
and I do look back and think, I was quite good at school. I was good at exams. Um, but I kind of was who they wanted me to be grades
hmm
wise. But that is why I dropped advanced chemistry and advanced English. I'm sorry. Um, and I took fashion and bakery, um, and then spent all my spare time doing a portfolio instead. Um,
Yeah.
they weren't so happy with my decision to do that, but I was.
I'm glad you did that as well. Even though I could joke about you not taking on English, I actually absolutely understand it and think that that's a great thing that you decided to just do sixth year your own way and do the things that you wanted to do and enjoy it. And it's like it's very. courageous actually, genuinely, to just say I'm not going to do these subjects that people are going to expect me to do. Um, I can relate to that definitely from my own time at school,
Mm,
and um, I guess I was I one of the other ex-pupils that I interviewed on the podcast a couple of days ago sort of went down a similar path to you in terms of pursuing something really creative beyond school. Um, Even though, like you, my impression of you at school was that you were very academic and did really well in exams and assessments and all that stuff.
mm.
But then, really interestingly, went on to do something much more creative at art school. Did you've kind of answered this question already, but uh, did you feel did you feel pressure either from school or from home, to follow a really academic route into university rather than go to art school?
Yeah, I think from the skill very much so. It felt very uh, they were leading you towards that path.
Hmm.
Especially, I remember being pulled out of class by one of the people that were higher up in the school and saying, "Oh, well done on your exam results." And I had never spoken to him in my life, and I just knew that I was just kind of a statistic. It wasn't really anything to do with me. But thankfully, I was very, very lucky to be in part of a very creative family. Both of my parents went to art school, um, and they very much encouraged and still do encourage creative pursuits. So I
Hmm.
think I saw that that was a an option for me. Otherwise, I might not have seen that in school. Um,
Yeah.
and in terms of my experience of doing creative subjects at school, um, I had an art teacher who was particularly ferocious, I would say, who I didn't enjoy really my time in the classroom
Hmm.
um, with. So that could have put me off if I hadn't had the encouragement from outside of school.
Yeah. That's, I guess, in a way, that's really great that you had that encouragement at home, but sad to think that there were other pupils maybe who didn't have that backing or were put off to more creative things if that's really what they felt their passion was. So
Mm,
yeah, it bothers me to think about. You were talking about just sort of socially feeling maybe a bit, you talked about being on the outskirts, and
mm.
maybe feeling that school just wasn't your place in a lot of ways. If you could change something, if you were in charge and you were going to make some changes to life in Scottish schools for secondary pupils, is there something you think could make that easier or different, or is it just teenage life and there's not a lot you can do about it, or is there something in school that just could have made life a little bit easier for you?
That's such a tricky one. I think I don't want to get into all of the details of like the school curriculum and what's included and not included, but I do think it's difficult to find your identity, find your place um, in the world, but
Hmm.
to find your place as a queer person, particularly. And I think if we'd had more education based around that, it might have been easier to sort of see where I fit into the world a bit
Yeah,
better, so that that wasn't so much on my mind. um,
yeah,
in terms of like socially being on the outside, I think yeah, if they encouraged creativity a bit better and it felt more like that was a proper route in school and not just like a hobby,
yeah,
definitely would have helped as well.
yeah. It's really interesting to hear you say that because I don't want to. This is not like a mega political podcast or anything like that. It's hopefully just a nice chat, but I would like to think sometimes. Oh, probably things are getting better. I mean, I left teaching, I guess, 4 years ago now, 3 years ago, 4, and
Mm.
I, and even my last couple of years teaching, I wasn't teaching full time. I became a part-time teacher, so I wasn't there as often. And it'd be nice to think, oh, the curriculum's changing a little bit, and I think it probably is in a lot of schools, but still, I see on the news or in social media or read in the news
Hmm.
about backlash to like more inclusive education and just the
Yeah.
idea of teaching kids about life beyond school and different kinds of relationships and what LGBT actually means and the idea that people have a problem with that because they feel like it's some sort of brainwashing or it's gonna turn all the straight kids gay. It's just so
Yeah,
ridiculous. And
it's
actually,
a
the truth
crazy way of
is,
thinking. Crazy.
yeah, the truth is, well, there are kids who are already queer. Wouldn't it just be good to make them feel a bit better and understand themselves a bit more and not have such a crappy time? So,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
to, yeah, not to get in my soapbox, but uh, even just anecdotally hearing you say that might make people go, oh, yeah, that kind of actually helped lots of people. That might have been a bit nicer. Um, so there we go. We've done our deep emotional section. Maybe we'll have some more deep emotions as we go on. Let's
Maybe.
see. If we look back again then on school and education and the subjects that you learned and even like the emotional education that you got, was
Hmm.
there anything that you look back on and think, that was a waste of time? That was so useless to me. Why did we spend so much effort and time on this subject or this piece of information that has not helped me in any way whatsoever?
There's definitely loads of things that I learned that are insignificant to me now. Um, I would say a lot of the things I learned in maths I don't think I've ever ever required in adult life. Um, Although I have used Sokotoa in my job, and
Wow.
I think I'm maybe the only person that's used it post school.
Were you like designing like triangles or something? Like
I was trying to work out the angle of a projector. Who knew?
well, there you go. It's maths teachers rejoice. There's a little glimmer of hope there that I even I mean I remember Sokotor from school.
Hmm.
Whether I remember what it actually meant or what I would use it for, I don't know, but it's one of those little things, a little acronym that is stuck in my brain. But
Yeah, yeah.
maybe maybe there could have been other things that could have been more useful to stick in my brain. I don't know. Um, is there anything on the more positive end of the spectrum about school, your experience, something you learned in a subject that actually you think, I'm really glad I did that. I think that's benefited me. I it's been useful in life. I'm grateful for it.
Um, as in something I've learned, or just generally an
Anything
experience.
at all. Anything.
Well, I chose geography as a subject in high school, which I don't think I ever really wanted to do it post school, but I was vaguely interested in that compared with the other options. And I remember going into the class and not knowing anyone in the class, and there was some boy sitting on a chair and there was a seat next to him, and I said, "Oh, please, do you mind if I sit here? Is that okay?" And he said yes, and we are still best friends to this day, and in fact I live with him now. So
Oh,
that is something that was very positive about my experience. I remember geography being a very silly time for both of us because um, we spent most classes just diddling things in the back of our jotters and laughing. And the teacher knew, but I don't think she really cared enough to separate us.
yeah. I mean, she probably knew you were gonna be fine and you were listening and you were probably absorbing it all.
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah.
Leave Rachel to it. I think I probably know who you're talking about, but you can tell me after we've finished recording about this wonderful friend. Uh,
Yep.
Rachel, one of the aspects of school that most people remember and different people have different feelings about, and I don't know if I really enjoy them or want them, is the school awards ceremony. So here on the podcast, we are going to have our own award after school award. My first award I want you to issue is for most epic teacher moment. This could be something weird or funny or outrageous or particularly memorable that a teacher once did that is stuck in your mind.
I found this question particularly difficult. I have really been racking my brains about this one. Um, I had a teacher in primary school once who was a religious education teacher, and she did talk a lot about not harming the Bible and all of this. But I remember one time somebody was talking in class, and she came and slammed the Bible on the table and screamed at them for talking. And I just thought, well, that's is that harming the Bible? I don't I don't know. Um, so that's a memorable moment for me. But then another one is now I won't linger too long on the one person, but the art teacher I had at high school cut my drawing in half once to fit it onto a page um, out of convenience. She didn't ask me. She cut it in half. Um,
Oh my
and I thought
goodness.
it was particularly nice. I had a nice little drawing of a fish, and then I had a drawing of half a fish and another drawing of half a
Oh my
fish.
God. Wow.
But
Okay.
I was wondering whether to say that for this because it wasn't so epic as it was memorably surprising.
Okay. Most traumatic teacher moment, perhaps. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry that happened to your fish. That's awful. What
I know.
about our next award is most random information memorized? Is there a strange fact that you learned in a subject or something that has stuck with you? We've had Sokotoa. Maybe it's that again. Is there
Mm.
anything else?
No, I was thinking about this quite a lot before we came on to talk about it, and I can remember in physics learning about time dilation and um the sort of how time travels slower for people moving at very high speeds,
Mm,
and then how this it's all relative anyway. And I don't even think I quite understand it now. I don't know if I understood it then, but it is something that I think about from time to time. Just to, it kind of blows everything out of perspective. I
okay.
was thinking about that this morning and then thought about there's this website which is about the scale of the universe, and you can like zoom out and
Oh,
how
yeah.
small we are. And it really just is like, why was I learning about algebra? And then I just had my mind blown by some physics.
Yeah, I've seen like animations like that that show you
Mm.
how small the Earth is in comparison to the pl other planets in the solar system, and then other stars that are enormous out there in the universe, and then how far apart they actually are. And it's
Yeah,
terrifying and impressive all at the same time. And the speed thing, yeah, I'm with you on that. My dad talks about this. My dad was a chemistry teacher, but is very interested in physics, I guess, as well, and space and time and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, quite often talks about that idea of someone going up to space, and if they have like a watch that measures nanoseconds or microseconds or whatever it is, and then they come back down to Earth, actually their time will be slightly different. And oh, it's very interesting, but too mind blowing for me. I
yeah.
can't linger on it.
There's only so long that you can think about something like that.
Right, exactly. What about your favorite classroom? And technically, it doesn't have to be a classroom. It may just be a part of the school building that you really like being in.
Well, we did talk about English already. I did enjoy being in English class, but I have got another one for you.
Okay.
And it was in primary three. We had the topic of ancient Egypt, and
Oh.
I had this great teacher in primary three, and we turned the classroom into Egypt. And we had a Nile running through the middle of the classroom, our little like book corner, and it was turned into a pyramid, and we all like wrote our names in hieroglyphics and put them on the walls, and it was excellent. So that would be
Oh,
my favorite classroom to be in.
that is really sweet. Now, I know I said we probably shouldn't talk about people's names. I think in this case, it's okay. What was the name of your primary three teacher?
He was called Mr. Dallywell. He was so
Mr.
nice.
What an amazing name, Mr. Dallywell. Shout out to him. Oh,
Yeah,
that's very cool. That sounds amazing. I want to go back in time to that classroom. That's cool.
me
Uh,
too.
what what about our final award is best school trip?
There's a few school trips that I've enjoyed. I never went on any like crazy abroad trips, and I kind of wish I had because it's an experience. But um, I did go on a trip to a river in geography, and I had these really, really embarrassing wellies that were like blue and white polka dot wellies with pink bits on them. And everyone else, when I showed up at the school, had all these like, the hunter wellies, or maybe I'm not supposed to say a brand, but I said, you know, plain green wellies or black wellies, and I had these big polka dot ones that I'd borrowed from my nana. They were, uh, it was very embarrassing. But my best school trip in primary two, we went to a farm, and
Hmm.
all I can remember, and I don't know, we must have seen more than this. All I can remember is standing outside of this big, like two sort of story height barn, and they opened the door, and it was just full of manure.
What a memory.
We must have seen more than that at the farm, but this is all I can remember from that trip.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. Like a 6-year-old child seeing a barn full of manure, that would remain with you. I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean I was very small. I was 5 at the time, so it was probably a lot smaller than I imagine it, but I imagine it to be like the size of a house.
Gargantuan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's sure. That
But best school
that's
trip.
there we
Um,
go.
the London trip was great.
Oh,
Which you were there on, and
yes.
we went and saw Women in Black, we saw Matilda. Yeah, great. It was great fun.
Good times. I've got lovely, really nice memories of. I took a trip to London a few times, and it was always great fun. It was really, really enjoyable. So much fun. I have now moved here to live permanently, but it was excellent. That's nice to hear. And also, by the way, polka dot wellies. I think that's only a good thing, and you probably looked better than everyone else and very stylish, and I
Oh,
would
it was
be quite happy to have those now.
so snazzy.
Lovely awards, well done. I'm enjoying them. What we, of course, have to do, because this is a podcast all about school, is have a little quiz, a little pop quiz at the end. But before we do that, Rachel, you've mentioned your wonderful creative work and design work, and I think people can actually check some of it out online. Where can people have a look at that on Instagram?
Yes, my Instagram is design.rmackay and my name is spelled Mackay. Everyone always spells my name wrong, but that's the right one. And I do have a website, but that's you can see that through the Instagram.
Okay, perfect. I'll put a link to your Instagram in the episode notes so people can find it really easily. And as for the podcast, beyond just listening to us right now, you could also follow us on Instagram at A Word After School Podcast. And the podcast is on YouTube as well at A Word After School. And if you really wanted to, you could go and leave a little comment maybe on one of the videos and I will reply to every single one of them. This is a brand new podcast, which means it costs time and money to create, but doesn't really generate any money at this point. If you would like to show some support and help me keep it going, you can chip in a donation of any amount that you want. You don't need to subscribe to anything. You could visit ko-fi.com, that's ko-fi.com/Matthew Keeley, and you can pick any amount to put in with a wee message, and that would be very much appreciated if you can manage it. If not, following on social media is great, and sharing the podcast with anyone that you think might want to listen would be good too. Now, Rachel, I did tell you that we're going to do a wee quiz to finish us off.
I'm
Right.
nervous. It's an exam. I thought I'd done them all. I thought I'd finished with exams.
Well, there's no consequences to this one. It doesn't matter if you don't do well.
Okay.
Okay, there are 8 questions. Here we go. Number one, what is the difference between your and your, as in YOU apostrophe RE and YOUR?
You are, or Something belonging to you.
Which one's which?
The apostrophe is you are.
There we go, that'll do.
Hey.
Question two, what is 8 squared?
64?
64, you've got it. Excellent, well done. No
Man.
calculator needed. Question three, can you spell onomatopoeia?
Oh, yes.
There we go. You've figured out the smart way to answer that question. I will just believe that you absolutely can. Question four, what is the most effective excuse you ever used for not doing homework, if that ever happened?
Mm. I don't think I used an excuse for that, but I did forge my dad's signature on a couple of reading homeworks.
Well, I'm looking at you in a whole different light. I just can't believe
No.
this. Okay, wow. Oh. But the
The
thing is,
awful-
I bet you were reading anyway, so you two need no one needed to check that you were doing it. You were a reader. Okay, I think that's allowed. Number five, can you remember a quote from any poem that you studied in English?
Oh. Not a direct quote. No, I could tell you what some of the poems were about. I remember
Yeah,
there,
give me a poem. Tell me
there
about a
was one
poem.
about the old one at the cafe or the bar
Oh,
or the
in
snack
the
bar.
snack bar. In the
Snack
snack
bar.
bar. Do you remember who wrote it?
Was that Edwin Morgan?
It was Edwin Morgan. Well done. That is more than most people probably know about Scottish poetry, so I'm very impressed with that. Question six. Is nuclear power a renewable or non-renewable source of energy?
I have no idea. I would say non-renewable.
It is non-renewable. It was somewhere in your mind. Even if it wasn't in your
Yeah.
mind, you've used your skills and knowledge to figure out what the answer must be. I'm very impressed. Question seven. Rachel, what is a prime number?
Is a prime number a number that can only be divided by itself and one?
That is it. And obviously, I made this question number seven, because that is a prime number. It was all meant to be. I structured it this way very deliberately. And last question in our quiz, number eight. Did you ever fake being ill to have a day off school?
I don't think I did. I wish I had.
Okay, that's the best answer we've had. I didn't, but I wish I had. Don't we all? Don't we all wish
Yeah.
we'd just taken a day off here and there? It
Who
wouldn't have
knew
hurt
it wasn't
anyone.
as important as it wasn't as important as I thought at the time, you know?
Wasn't that big a deal, but one day here and there, who cares? Rachel, thank you so much for being on the podcast with me. It's been so lovely to talk to you and share some of your memories of school, positive and negative, but I hope that that was worthwhile.
It's been great to be here.
Thank you so much. And listeners, thank you for staying behind for a word after school. I'll be back most likely with another chat with someone else that I taught way back in my previous life. And maybe this has even sparked some memories of your own. Class dismissed.